seeking to defend your classic title with higher power and everything. How is he kind of doing coming in? First of all, did everybody come out of their works good yesterday?
Yeah, we do kind of a bigger checking about 10 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
So everybody's fine. I'll look at them a little later on this morning. They're all schooling. All my breeders' courses are schooling this afternoon.
Here we go.
So we're looking forward to that this afternoon. And he worked really well yesterday. Pratt was on him, was very happy with him. So we're excited. We think we got a good shot in there.
Yeah, and in the last race, it looked like he had a pretty good excuse there. Didn't he have trouble at the break? Or yeah.
Almost lost the rider at
Yeah.
the start. Went right down to his knees, and then it was just like he was kind of eliminated at the start. Still got around there third, with a big excuse. So hopefully he'll get a good do-over.
What have you kind of seen from him? Like, what are some of the intangibles that you think have kind of allowed him to kind of take himself to that grade 1 level and become, a real contender in what a lot of people are seeing as a pretty wide open classic?
Yeah, I think the fact that, he's a Medagliadoro, he can run a mile and a quarter, he's got a really good family, and they're kind of, improve over time as they get older. And the people that had him before me did a nice job with him. I got him in good shape. And so we've just been able to, move them up a little bit. And I think the distance, you don't get a lot of mile and a quarter dirts. And I think he showed he handled that really well.
Yeah. From a personal standpoint, how satisfying is it to have the conversation be you looking to defend your title in the Classic instead of having to answer the when you're going to win a Breeders' Cup question this year?
Like 10,000%. Yeah, I mean, so I'm in good frame of mind, and we have fun horses we're going to be running over the week. Some of those races, there's some pretty heavy favorites in there, so you don't always know how well you're going to do, but we bring good horses.
And Catalina Cruiser, he's a horse that, really has barely put a foot wrong in his career. He's going into the sprint race with a lot of people think might be pound for pound the best one on the Breeders' Cup card. What kind of ultimately swayed you to go ahead and take a swing, in that spot that has so many heavy hitters in it?
Well, we think his speed figures are better going short. He set a stake record at Belmont this year. Like 2/5 off the track record at 6.5. So we think it's going to be a good setup for him. It's good on this track, obviously, and it's, all the races are good. So it's a tough race, but he's a tough horse himself.
Yeah, I know he's won last year. You kind of pegged him to sort of be the heir to tell him to kind of take over for the handicap division. It seems like with every start he just continues to impress and just show you something even more.
Well, he runs, like I said, other than the Breeders' Cup last year, he's won. So, he's doing well, and we're looking forward to this one on Saturday.
And Ollie's Candy, she's going into a Distaff, which, has a clear standout with Midnight Bijou. But, I said this is, with the Air Filly, she's got the home track advantage. How you feel like maybe this track more than ever, that home track advantage really is the key intangible?
Well, she's a really nice runner. She was good before I got her, and she won a really nice race at Del Mar in the Clement Hirsch. And I think she won a stake here at 3. I think she won the Summertime Oaks. So I think she ought to be highly competitive in there, and she's training really well for this race.
What are some of the things that you've kind of just learned about her since you've had her?
Just that, I originally started her off on turf this year. She's Candy Ride, she's won on almost every surface. So I think she won on synthetic because she started out at Golden Gate. So she could run a lot of different races. We put her on the dirt, and she really ran so big, we've kept her on the dirt. So I think she likes dirt a little bit better.
Could you just talk about the Pacific Classic, how big that was for
her
power?
Yeah, it was really great. He trained really well after the Wicker and had a couple super works over the track. And, we went in there with just, feeling good. We didn't feel any pressure. It was a good week beginning. Mrs. Hronis had a little medical procedure on Friday, like the day before he ran. And she kicked Costa out of the hospital and said, "You're going to the horse races." So that went so well. We felt we had a really carefree attitude going in because, other things even more important than a horse race were going so well. So it was just fun, fun experience. We thought the horse would run well, and he outran our expectations the way he won so big. So it was just a good day.
And look at the complexion of the Classic at this point. You sort of talk about the field and what you make of Mackenzie.
Yeah, it's an interesting field. It's probably a great gambling race this year because you could take a lot of horses and say they have a pretty good chance. And there's a lot of question marks on all of them. You know, like, does Higher Power, can he repeat that performance at Del Mar and do it again? Because he's got the one, but he's got to do it again. Can Mackenzie go 1.25 miles? You know, that's another one. And then how do the 3-year-olds stack up against the olders? So there's a lot of angles you can look at.
What do you make of a late in there? She's 3 for 3 1.25.
Well, that's
she was
another
0 for 3, I think, against Midnight Beast.
Yeah, another good storyline. She looks like she wants that distance. Also, Medaglia d'Oro. So that's another fascinating look at that race.